In this video, we're going to focus on lighting. But first, let's take a look at two conventional light sources that we use and why we don't want to use them. So first, right now I'm being lit by the window, have the blinds open, just regular natural daylight, no other light going on. So typically the light source coming in from the window is pretty soft. You know, this side of me is lit pretty well. It's mostly flattering. Now if I angle it differently, you can probably see more of my face over here, but the reason why we want to avoid using this as our main light source is because we're not guaranteed, you know, perfect daylight every day. There could be seasons where it's raining all week and it'd be cloudy all week. So a light source like this that changes every single day is not necessarily the most reliable thing. But I will say it does do pretty well with the little catch light mine, that little dot you see in my eye. It does pretty well with lighting on that aspect. You want to avoid using the standard overhead light in your office or room because it's really difficult to control. It's in the middle of the room usually. It's beaming straight down, so it's lighting the top of me but not lighting my actual face. And you can kind of get around this by positioning yourself to be behind the light, but it's still really hard to control because it's just set to kind of blast everywhere. And then it also kind of leaves the eyes looking dead. It's not really as flattering visually to my face, to, you know, what you're seeing, as even the window light. If I had to pick, I would choose the window light over that, but we don't want to use either, really. So now we're going to look at types of lights that we can use. First is directional lamp. If you already have a lamp that points all the light in one direction, and you may not have a big budget, start with that. So this same lighting source and setup will also work with an LED light. Now if you have a smaller office, if you're using a smaller LED light or panel, blasting it on a poster board or any white surface where it can reflect will kind of pretty much do the same thing, kind of soften that light and kind of fill the face more. Now if you're going to have a bigger LED panel, you're going to be using it a little differently. You may have it further away but facing directly on you, and depending on how you position it, you're going to have it sort of blasting directly at you. The next would be LED light with a stand. The most versatile option with many sizes and prices to choose from. Most are battery powered and easy to set up and store away. If you have a tight office space, a smaller one may be more feasible. If you have a spacious room to work with and the budget allows it, you can purchase a bigger LED panel to fill the area better. The third option would be a CFL bulb lighting with a softbox. This is useful if you're able to set up the light, leave it where it is, and still have space to move around. There are very affordable options, light fixtures that come with a huge hard white or cold white light bulb. Okay, so for this type of lighting, I actually have my softbox angled up and it's blasting into the ceiling and bouncing back down on me. So that's why pretty much all of this is filled in. The whole background is filled in with that light. I have it blasting up so it comes on to me a little softer. And this is actually like my favorite kind of lighting. I can just kind of let the light stand sit there, and if I'm ready to do a video call, I can just turn it on and it pretty much fills in the way I like it. So this actually almost emulates the overhead lighting, if the overhead lighting actually would look good. This is pretty much what you would probably want to do to kind of make it seem like you're just naturally lit. The thing about the lamp, it looks very intentional in the sense of you actually can tell you're being lit. Specifically with this, if you weren't really paying attention, it would just seem like I'm just being lit by the overhead light or by some window lighting. Okay, so this is just another way of using that softbox more directionally. So before I had the softbox pointing up and the bulbs are just kind of sort of naked pointing right up, but now I have a sheet kind of over the softbox, so when it's blasting at me, it's softened. So this is pretty much the secondary option. Wouldn't really say one is better than the other. Just depends on what you think would look better, but when you're on video calls. So the one advantage I would have for having a softbox position like this is actually, I mentioned earlier about the catch light. So with the overhead light, you don't really get this. The window lighting you can, but with this softbox, I'm pretty much emulating window lighting. You can see in my eyes, the little dot, that's the light bouncing off my eyes. And they call it the catch light. It gives some life to the eyes. It gives some depth versus eyes just looking straight, like black and dead and lifeless. It also helps to have a second light in the background, a sort of ambient light that makes the office space livelier as well. I'll touch more on this in the atmosphere space part of the series. So now that we've correctly lit our space to our desire, we can move forward to how we sound.